The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
And I want to welcome Shaheen. Shaheen, you're feeling guilty about divorcing your wife?
No, it's not guilt. The reason I'm calling is because of anxiety.
Okay.
As well as anger.
Yeah.
In terms of guilt, I had a secondary question whether or not guilt has anything to do with feelings of responsibility.
Oh, guilt has everything to do with your standards of what's good and bad. And
sorry?
Yes, guilt is the emotion that tells me, Ellen, you acted against your own moral standards.
Right.
But sometimes, or many times, we feel guilty and we didn't earn it. We didn't do anything wrong, but we just are blaming ourselves anyway. Our standards
Dr.
are
Kenner,
off.
I had a very difficult time hearing you. Could you speak up a little bit?
Okay. So guilt means you're acting against your own moral standards, but we don't can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. We don't always set proper standards, so many times we suffer unnecessarily with unearned guilt that we have not earned. So you said that, tell me what's going on with your divorce that's causing the anxiety and anger.
Well, the anger is because I found out that this was a pre-existing condition.
Okay, the pre-existing condition is what?
Basically, after I took my wife to the doctor and then the hospital, they went through a variety of tests, and then they diagnosed her with MS, multiple sclerosis.
Okay, so she has MS. How long have you been married?
We've been married for about... our separation was in April of last year.
Yeah.
But we got married actually June of 2008.
So you were married for how long?
We were married for about, 9 months.
Okay, so
9 to 10 months.
We
only lived together for about a month.
Okay, if I understand the story correctly then, you married your wife without knowing that she had MS.
Yes, that's right.
And you found out within a month, or you found out very shortly after you married that...
Well, after we got married, we didn't live together for a while because she came from another country.
Okay.
And when she arrived, she was hospitalized within 4 days.
Yeah.
And the doctor told me that it is MS right away.
And you think she knew it in
MS.
advance?
Sorry?
You think that she knew that in advance?
Well, after being hospitalized for 16 days, and after the insurance that I had taken out for her went and investigated her past medical history, they found out that it was pre-existing, and they didn't cover her expenses.
Okay, meaning that, so when they did the investigative work, or when you found out that she had it in this other country, what was the other country?
Iran.
Iran. Okay, so she came over with MS. You're thinking that she didn't have any health problems, and suddenly you're married to somebody who has very serious health problems.
That's
and
right.
You're angry because you think she lied to you. She knew it in advance? And just...
Either she knew it or her parents knew.
So, meaning that you feel set up?
Oh, that's right. Well, I feel very angry because, that was something that I should have known. Had I known that she had MS, I probably wouldn't have married her.
Okay. Did you know her at all before she came over? Or was it an arranged marriage?
Well, it was...
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh. I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Or was it an arranged marriage?
Well, it was. I did my best to get to know her.
Yeah, by email or how?
well, also by spending about a month with her.
Okay, over in Iran?
That's right.
Okay. And nothing came out then about health problems?
Well, the only thing that I saw in her was some sleeplessness or insomnia. I didn't know which it was, which that was, but I didn't make too much out of it.
Yeah. So what would you like some help with?
Sorry?
What would you like me to help you with?
Why am I consulting you?
Yes. What would you like? What question do you have that you would like me?
Well, yes. How do I get over, first of all, the anger that I feel towards her and her family, as well as how do I overcome this anxiety? Because, a lot of things that I've been doing, they've been basically put on a back burner. I am behind in my work, in everyday life, and it's causing a lot of anxiety for me.
When did
combined with the fact that she might create greater liabilities for me.
But you've divorced her.
A lot of pressures from the hospital.
Yeah. You've divorced her, I thought. I thought you were totally out of each other's lives now. Or do you?
Yes, but when you bring someone over from another country, you sponsor her, and that creates a lot of problems.
Okay. So you feel trapped. You feel tricked. What are your What are your options? Can you unsponsor her?
I cannot. No, that's the problem.
When does it end?
Well. She arrived in February, so it's another 2 years and 1 month.
So you have to sponsor her for 2 years and 1 month. Does that mean
in case there are other expenses, or in case she asks for help from the government or something, they may come after me.
Okay. I think you need legal protection there, the best legal protection that you can find, and that's out of my field of expertise. I think in terms of your anger and anxiety, you want to focus it on protecting yourself and see if there's any way, if there's any way that you can undo the injustice. If you don't want to be married to her, if you don't want the responsibility of her, if you feel that you were deceived by her parents because it was pre-existing, then you have every right to try to pursue legal means to cut ties with her and her family.
Right.
And that's a legal issue. In terms of the anger, you want to use it to motivate you not to get revenge at her family, because that's just going to complicate your life, but to focus it on how can you minimize the burden for the next two or so years that you have. 2 years will go by fairly fast, and then you're free of her?
Yes.
So you want to keep your mind focused on what you can do then, knowing that it's not going to last forever, luckily. The anxiety means there's uncertainty. And the uncertainty is how do you deal with it, which legal advice will help you with. I'm Dr. Ellen Kenner on the Rational Basis of Happiness.
And here's a little more from Dr. Kenner.
Did this guy ever see you eat?
After dinner is the time I need a cigarette most. As long as I don't stop eating, I'll be fine.
Well, this is very good, Phoebe. You're already identifying those moments that trigger your worst cravings.
Yeah.
There's no need to be insulting just because you're wrestling with an unhealthy and disgusting habit.
It isn't disgusting, it's wonderful.
Oh.
And if you're trying to give up any habit, such as smoking, notice that there's a war within you. Part of you thinks it's not disgusting, it's wonderful, it's great, it relaxes me. If we're talking about cigarette smoking, it relaxes me, it makes me feel maybe sexy or just cool. It gives me that little hit of nicotine. It's wonderful. And then another part of your brain that's not turned on right then is saying, what are you, crazy? You don't want to die of lung cancer like your father did. That was an awful death. Or, it stinks. Your clothes stink. People don't want to be around you. It's uncomfortable at family meetings. That war inside you, how do you resolve that conflict when it exists within you? It's not just between you and other people, whether it has to do with smoking or weight or any other problem, a habit that you have that you don't like. How do you change that? You can give me a call. I'm Dr. Ellen Kenner, a clinical psychologist. My show is The Rational Basis of Happiness, and my number's toll-free, 1-877-Dr. toll-free, 1-877-DRKENNER. And you can ask me any question that's on your mind.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke.
A personality trait valuable in romance is personal warmth. By warmth, we mean friendly affection from your partner. Warmth is essential for romance to flourish. Coldness can be temporary as a result of anger at your partner for some particular action, but romance is impossible if it is a constant presence in your relationship. How your partner shows warmth and affection is also important, whether it's through small gifts, loving words, hugs, frequent phone calls, and smiles and kisses, or through any or all of these ways and more. You'll want to make sure that you enjoy each other's affection and manner of showing it.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com. And you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.